Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn. On today's video, I'm going to show you how I made these cute Halloween earrings on my Glowforge, and what I used to make them were these, I call them in the video popsicle sticks. I don't think people are going to make popsicles out of these, but they are giant craft sticks, and they're 10 inches long by 1¼ inches wide. I got 45 of these for $3.88 at Walmart. And then I used some digital calipers to measure the thickness. I used some painter's tape to tape my craft stick down to my Glowforge bed. And I made these adorable earrings. After I cut them, I painted them, and I'll show you in the video the colors I used. And then I added my hardware, and they are ready to go. Now, if you're interested in buying a Glowforge, I'll put my code below. That saves you $100 on a basic model, $250 on a plus model, and $500 on the pro model. I have the basic model, and that does everything that I need it to do, and I'm really happy with it. If you find this video helpful, inspiring, or you just like watching it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them in the comment section. Thanks again. Now let's make some earrings. On this video, I'm going to attempt to cut earrings out of this giant popsicle stick. I imported a candy corn design in Inkscape, which is a free software similar to Illustrator. And then I cleaned it up and I added the circles for the hardware in my earrings, which you can see over here. So the first thing that I want to do is place this candy corn design on my popsicle stick. You're actually seeing the bed of my Glowforge with my popsicle stick taped down. That's just painter's tape. And it looks like I might need to make it just a little bit narrower. I could break all these apart and have them scattered out, but I don't really want to waste that much material. I know they were cheap popsicle sticks, but I'll go ahead and change it to 1.65 inches. Right now it's showing wide because it turns sideways, and that will make it narrower, or in this case, shorter. So let me blow this up and see if it's really on the popsicle stick. It is, but just barely. I think I'd like to go ahead. Now typically I would not unlock it and just change the width, because then your little circles are no longer exactly a circle. But this is going to be so minor that I think they'll look fine. It's going to stay the same width, which is actually the height of the earring. And I don't know that that made enough difference. Let's just go down to 1.10. Okay, that will work perfectly fine. And I might as well move it down to the end. Then I'm going to copy and paste. And I don't want to break it apart. Let's move the whole thing. And I'll just place it right here. And that'll leave me enough space, if this cut works, to cut another pair. Now you need to click up here, and you either need to pick the material you're using, or if it came from Glowforge, you might have a QR code on it and it'll read it and it'll set your settings for you. In my case, I'm using uncertified material, and I'm using I'm going to go with 0.07 just to give it a little bit more thickness, make sure it cuts through. For my cut settings, I'm going to click over on cut, down to manual. Notice here's my 0.07 here. I'm going to do a speed of 375 and full power. So I'll go ahead and click print, and then before I just run in there and print it or cut it, I want to make sure that when this focuses in, that everything is still on the popsicle stick. Sometimes those can jump a little bit once the camera really focuses in on it. Okay, so I saw a little jump here, but everything is still on the stick. So I'll go ahead turn the camera around and I'll show you the cut. Now, it's kind of loud in here. I have my filter on, so let me go ahead and press the cut button. Typically, if I were doing something with wood that I was going to stain or leave natural, I would put masking tape on the back and the front. In this case, I'm going to paint over these front and back, and the cut is so fast that I'm really not going to have much in the way of singe marks. Now, once the blue flashing light, which you can't see because I'm too closed in, but once the flashing light stops, you can open the lid. And then you can see some of the things that I cut just fell out, and then these will just pop out very easily. Here's what I'll be using to paint my earrings. I have 3 paintbrushes with fairly soft bristles, and then I have 3 colors of apple barrel paint, just inexpensive craft paint. I have pumpkin orange, bright yellow, and white. And then I also have a toothpick that I will poke the little wood pieces out with, and then I also will just hold on to the wood pieces by putting the toothpick in a little hole, and that's a whole lot easier to do than holding on to them with my fingers. So let me show you. Some of the wood came out of the holes when I lifted it up off the machine, but you can see this one still has a little piece of wood in it, and that just pokes right out. And it is just amazing, the precision and the quality that this cutter has. And that fell over. You can see the back side is very nice too. When you have to cut more slowly, you do get some singe marks, so you want to use some masking paper or masking tape on the fronts and the backs is what I like to do. If the back matters. If it doesn't, don't worry about putting it on the back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with the white. So I'll use my smallest brush. Now, I'm not going to talk all the way through this. Basically, what I want you to know is I'm going to paint the front, the back, and the sides, and I'm going to use really thin coats so that you don't get any unevenness or lumpiness. Now, the yellow may not cover very well. I've learned that it is considered a transparent color, and so either you'll have to do more coats of it, or you can mix just a little bit of white with the yellow, and that helps it get rid of or decrease the transparency, increase the opaqueness, without changing the yellow color very much. And then lastly, these earrings, or these pieces of earrings, will dry so quickly that most likely by the time I'm done with my first coat, I'll be able to turn them over and do the backs. After putting some black metal fish hooks and jump rings on these earrings, here is the final product. They were really simple to make, fun to make, inexpensive to make, and I think they're adorable. Thanks again for joining me. I'm Marilyn. Bye-bye.